Hello students, this is Purushottam Vishwakarma and I am back today with second part of manufacturing industries. In the first part we studied about the definition of manufacturing and classification of industries, manufacturing industries. Now in this video we will study what are the different industries, manufacturing industries, especially agro based industries. In this video, we'll basically talk about agro based industries. So let's begin. Agro based industries. In last video, I told you what are the things under this category: cotton, jute, silk, woolen textiles, sugar and edible oil, etc. Such industries are based on agricultural raw materials. That is why these industries are known as agro based industries. The first one, textile industry. The first one that we are going to study, textile industry. कपड़ा उद्योग जिसको हम बोलते हैं हिंदी में. The textile industry occupies unique position in the Indian economy. India is rich in textile industry because it contributes significantly to industrial production. Significantly, बड़े ही अधिक मात्रा में इससे प्रोडक्शन आता है कॉटन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री से. Employment generation and foreign exchange earnings. Not only that, it creates employment as well as it gets foreign exchange earnings for us. विदेशी पैसे भी हमको मिलते हैं इसकी वजह से. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant, and this is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant. आत्मनिर्भर है, किसी पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं है अपने काम के लिए, सारी चीज़ें अपने आप से ये कंप्लीट कर लेता है. Everything is available in this industry. Complete in the value chain, that is from raw material to the highest value added products. How? Let's see in this picture. Fiber production, spinning, webbing or knitting, dyeing and finishing, garment manufacturing. So everything is done in this sector, in these agro based industries. That is why it is said it is complete in its chain: raw fiber, yarn, fabric, and then garments. Next one is cotton textiles. In ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning. You know very well about Mahatma Gandhi, who used charkha spinning wheel, were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. After the 18th century, power looms came into use. 18th century के बाद पावर लूम आ जाते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल लूम आ जाते हैं. Our traditional industries suffered a setback during the colonial period. While there was the rule of colony, we were colonies of British, we had to suffer a lot. So it was a setback for us, a drawback for us. हमारे लिए एक पतन का समय था. They could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. Those coarse cloths, वो भद्दे कपड़े, हैंडमेड कपड़े, मिल के बने हुए कपड़ों से compete नहीं कर सकते थे. That is why there was a decline in Indian textile industry. But soon there was war years, और war year ने डिमांड बढ़ा दी, और डिमांड बढ़ने की वजह से हमारे लिए थोड़ा सा बूम का टाइम आ गया, हमारी इंडस्ट्री डेवलप कर जाती है. Some important facts. The first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. You have to remember it. The first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. The two world wars were fought in Europe. India was a British colony, you know. First World War and Second World War, and India was British colony. We were colony of England. There was a demand for cloth in UK. Hence, they gave a boost to the development of the cotton textile industry. Where? In India. That is why there was boom in industrial cotton textile industry in India. In the early years, the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. You must know cotton is grown in black soil, and that black soil is basically found in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So it was centered, concentrated in the cotton growing belts of Maharashtra and Gujarat because availability of raw cotton, market, transport, including accessible port facilities, or basic industries. Such industries were set up initially to keep in mind the port wherefrom they could send it abroad. Labor, moist climate, not only that, labor, moist climate, etc., contributed towards its localization. It centralized, it was concentrated in Mumbai, Gujarat. Why? Because of these facilities. This industry has close links with agriculture and provides a living to farmers. It has close links to agriculture. Cotton is produced with the help of agriculture. It is a part of agriculture sector. That is why it provides living to farmers. Cotton ball pluckers, it gives employment to many workers, farmers, cotton ball pluckers, and workers engaged in ginning. What is this ginning? Removing seeds from cotton balls. Spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, packaging, tailoring, and sewing. All these type of people are involved in cotton textile industry. So it gives plenty of employment to people. The industry, by creating demands, supports many other industries. It creates demand for other industries as well. It supports other industries as well. For example, such as chemicals and dyes, packaging materials, and in engineering works, machinery for tailoring purpose, for dyeing purpose, for ironing purpose. There is requirement of machinery. So it gives employment to different sectors. While spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra and Gujarat along with Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized to provide a scope for incorporating traditional skills and designs of weaving in cotton, silk, zari, embroidery, etc. Although it is centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized. That weaving, कपड़े बुनने की जो बात है, कपड़ा बुनना, is decentralized to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills. For example, what are our traditional skills? Weaving in cotton, silk, जरी, embroidery, कढ़ाई बुनाई करना, जरी का काम करना. India has world class production in spinning, but weaving supplies low quality of fabric. इंडिया हैज़ वर्ल्ड क्लास प्रोडक्शन इन स्पिनिंग. स्पिंडल जो हमारे वहाँ हैं वो वर्ल्ड क्लास के हैं, धागे जो बनते हैं, यान बनते हैं. बट वेबिंग सप्लाइज low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country, because it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country. Webbing is done by hand loom, power loom, and in mills. So that webbing, kapda bunna, yarn से कपड़े को बनाना, that is done with the help of hand loom and power loom and in mills. So what happens, that world class yarn is transported to other countries, exported to other countries, and next our own entrepreneurs, factory owners had to import. The hand spun khadi provides large scale employment to weaver in their homes as a cottage industry. I told you about Mahatma Gandhi and his famous spinning wheel charkha. That khadi provides large scale employment, that also provides employment for the weavers in their homes as a cottage industry. India exports yarn to Japan. Other importers of cotton goods from India are USA, UK, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and African countries. These are the importers of cotton or cotton goods. We have a large share in the world trade of cotton yarn. India has a large share in the world trade of cotton yarn. Our spinning mills are competitive at the global level. Our products are competitive in nature with the global level and capable of using all the fibers we produce. We can use, we are capable of using all the fibers we produce. The weaving, knitting, and processing units cannot use much of the high quality yarn that is produced in the country. As I told you, most of the high quality cotton, high quality yarn is sent to other countries, sent abroad. There are some large and modern factories in these segments, but most of the production is in fragmented small units which cater to the local market, which are limited to local market. This mismatch is a major drawback for the industry, and this is a setback, a drawback for that industry, cotton textile industry. As a result, many of our spinners export cotton yarn while apparel garment manufacturers have to import fabric. This is the reason most of our spinners export cotton yarn to other countries. I told you earlier, while apparel or garment manufacturers have to import fabric. अब हमारे वहाँ कपड़ा बुन नहीं पाते हैं, यान तो धागा बना लेते हैं बढ़िया क्वालिटी का, लेकिन हमारे वहाँ बढ़िया क्वालिटी की कपड़ा बनाने वाली मिलें न होने की वजह से धागा हम भेज देते हैं दूसरी कंट्रीज में, और वहाँ से फिर बना बनाया कपड़ा हम मंगाते हैं जो हमारे लिए नुकसान करता है. That is not beneficial for us. Suppose that yarn is sold at rupees 85 per kg. अब इसको आप समझिए कि जो यान है, धागा है, हमने बना के भेज दिया दूसरे के कंट्री को 85 पर केजी. इफ इट इज सोल्ड एज अ ट्राउजर इट फेचेस रुपीज 800 पर केजी, और 1 किलो का ट्राउजर अगर बन गया उसी से तो वो 800 पर केजी. अब हम उसको खरीदेंगे तो महंगा पड़ेगा हमारे लिए. वैल्यू इज एडेड एट एवरी स्टेज फ्रॉम फाइबर टू यार्न टू फैब्रिक एंड टू गारमेंट. अब वही चीज़ अगर कॉटन केवल रहता तो उसका दाम और कम होता. So in this way, it produces plenty of money. It earns plenty of money. Now the question is, why is it important for us to improve our webbing sector instead of exporting yarn in large quantities? अभी हमने इसी के बारे में बात की कि अगर हम यान बेच देंगे तो हमको कम पैसा मिलेगा. हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है कि अपने वेबिंग सेक्टर को हम और इम्प्रूव करें. There is requirement of improving our weaving sector so that we could produce high quality fabric instead of producing only yarn. Although we have made significant increase in the production of good quality long staple cotton, the need to import is still felt. Still there is need to import. Power supply is erratic. Erratic here means unsteady, you know very well. In India, power supply is unsteady. Nowadays, it is being stable, but still it is felt. Power supply is unsteady, and machinery needs to be upgraded in the webbing and processing sectors in particular. And we need a change, an upgrade in the machine and webbing processing sectors. Other problems are the low output of labor. Some other problems for cotton textile industries are low output of labor, Laborers are not producing according to their potential, and stiff competition with the synthetic fiber industry. And there is a rigid, hard competition with the synthetic fiber industry. Nowadays, most of the people wear synthetic fibers because those fibers are cheap fibers. That is why they buy those fibers, and it is very easy to produce. So there is stiff competition with the synthetic fiber industry, and it is directly related to the development of a country. We are talking about cotton textile industry. Now next one, the next heading that we have, jute textiles. We studied about cotton, and now we'll study about jute textiles. India is the largest producer of raw jute and jute goods, and stands at second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. Bangladesh is the largest exporter. On the second place, we are there. Most of the mills are located in West Bengal, mainly along the banks of the Hooghly River in a narrow belt. So, where are the main mills? In West Bengal, just beside Bangladesh. Most of the mills are located in West Bengal, mainly along the banks of the Hooghly River in a narrow belt. Where? In a narrow belt. So it is limited. Jute production is limited, especially in West Bengal. The first jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1855 at Risra. Where? In Risra. First jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1855 at Risra. After partition in 1947, the jute mills remained in India, but three-fourths of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh. After partition, most of the jute producing area, that is three-fourths, 75% of our jute producing areas went to Bangladesh, erstwhile East पाकिस्तान, जो 1947 में जब पार्टीशन हुआ था तो पहले पाकिस्तान था, फिर पाकिस्तान को बांट करके फिर क्या बन गया, बांग्लादेश अलग हो गया. सो इन दिस वे it was in Pakistan and then came to Bangladesh. Factors responsible for their location in Hooghly Basin are, what are the factors that are responsible for the centralization, concentration of jute industries in Hooghly Basin? Proximity of the jute producing areas, proximity, abundance of jute producing areas, inexpensive water transport, because of Hooghly River, water is available, inexpensive water transport, because of Hooghly River, transport is easy, Hooghly River के जरिए हम ट्रांसपोर्ट कर लेते हैं, ज़्यादा खर्चा नहीं आता है. Supported by a good network of railways, there is a good network of railways in Kolkata, roadways and waterways to facilitate movement of raw material to the mills. And not only that, roadways, waterways, all these facilitate the movement of raw materials to the mills. Not only that, abundant water for processing raw jute. Water is available because of river, cheap labor from West Bengal and adjoining states. So all the required facilities for industries to be set up raw material at site, cheap labor, other facilities, transport, insurance, all these things are easily available. That is why jute industry is flourishing in Kolkata. States of Bihar, Odisha, and Uttar Pradesh. Kolkata as a large urban center provides banking, insurance, and port facilities for export of jute goods. So all requirements can be fulfilled there. That is why it is flourished in Kolkata. What is flourished? Jute textile, jute industry. What are the challenges faced by jute industry? Challenges faced by industry include stiff competition in the international market from synthetic substitutes and from other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt, and Thailand. So the way is not easy, the market is not easy for India. It includes stiff competition, a hard competition in the international market from synthetic substitutes. इसके सिंथेटिक सब्सिट्यूट भी हैं, हम जूट की वजह दूसरे सब्सिट्यूट का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. So we get a stiff competition from other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt, and Thailand, where jute is produced. However, the internal demand has been on the increase due to the government policy of mandatory use of jute bags. Government has made it mandatory to lessen the use of plastic. Government had decided to use jute packaging. To stimulate demand, the products need to be diversified. To stimulate, to strengthen the demand, the products need to be diversified. We need to diversify the products. अलग अलग चीज़ें बनाई जानी चाहिए. जूट से अलग अलग चीज़ें बनाएंगे तो उसकी डिमांड बढ़ेगी. उससे बैग बनाएंगे, उससे बोरे बनाएंगे, उससे झोले बनाएंगे, उससे और भी चीज़ें मैट वगैरह बनाएंगे. इन दिस वे इसकी डिमांड क्या होगी? बढ़ेगी. दैट इज नोन एज डाइवर्सिफाइड. द मेन मार्केट्स आर यूएसए, कनाडा, घाना, सऊदी अरेबिया, यूके एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया. These are the main jute markets for India. The growing global concern for environment friendly biodegradable materials has once again opened the opportunity for jute products because the countries are asking for such biodegradable materials like jute. So it has opened the opportunity for jute products. Now the last one in this video, sugar industry. This will be the last heading in this video, and this is the last in agro based industries. Sugar industry, you all know very well about sugar cane, ganna. India stands second as a world producer of sugar but occupies the first place in the production of gur and khansari. While teaching you agriculture, I told you about sugar cane. Gur, that is also known as jaggery, and khansari, a liquid. The raw material used in this industry is bulky. भारी भरकम सामान इसमें हम यूज करते हैं. इस इंडस्ट्री में गन्ना बहुत भारी होता है. एंड इन haulage its sucrose content reduces. And in haulage its sucrose content reduces. The mills are located in Uttar Pradesh. These mills are located in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, and Madhya Pradesh. The main mills are there in UP and Maharashtra. 60% mills are in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So most of the mills are there in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, especially nowadays in Maharashtra. This industry is seasonal in nature. This is based on season. जब शुगर केन की प्रोडक्शन रहेगी क्योंकि साल में एक बार फसल काटी जाती है. That is why this industry is seasonal. So it is ideally suited to the cooperative sector, not the government sector, cooperative societies. Can you explain why this is so? हमने पढ़ा मनी एंड क्रेडिट में what is cooperative sector. Can you explain why this is so? In recent years, there is a tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states, especially in Maharashtra. In recent years, it is noticed that there is a tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states, especially in Maharashtra. This is because the cane produced here has a higher sucrose content. इसमें जो सुक्रोज होता है जिससे चीनी बनती है, that has higher value. The cooler climate also ensures a longer crushing season. Climate cool रहता है तो crushing season longer रहता है, जल्दी गन्ना सूखता नहीं है. Moreover, the cooperatives are more successful in these states. Cooperative societies are more successful in these states. ये कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज ही गन्ना उगाती हैं और मिलों को बेचती हैं. Major challenges include the seasonal nature of the industry. What are the major challenges for this industry? These include the seasonal nature of the industry. Seasonal nature, साल में एक बार ही फसल तैयार होती है. Old and inefficient methods of production, पुराने तौर तरीके से हम प्रोडक्शन करते हैं. ट्रांसपोर्ट डिले इन रीचिंग केन टू फैक्ट्रीज, ट्रांसपोर्ट की वजह से गन्ना आसानी से पहुंच नहीं पाता जल्दी फैक्ट्री में. एंड द नीड टू मैक्सिमाइज द यूज ऑफ बैगेज, और जो बना बनाया शुगर है, चीनी है, उसको बैग बनाने में, उसका बैगिंग करने में, तैयार पैकेट तैयार करने में, we need to maximize the use of baggage. That's all in this video. We'll talk about the remaining portion in this chapter in next video, where we'll talk about mineral based industries.